guys and welcome to my channel. So in today's video I thought I would share with you some tips on how I stay organised as a parent. You don't actually have to be a parent to follow these tips, but it does help that chaotic parent lifestyle if you do have children. I know that I always thought I was a super organised person until these little kiddywinkles came along and just threw chaos into the air. And these tips are basically what I follow daily in order to get our lives in order and to get my jobs done, because without them nothing would ever get done in my household. So if you would like to see what my tips are, then please keep on watching. My first tip would be to write lists. I'm a big believer that when you write something down in a list you are more likely to get it done, and I know that is definitely true of myself. If I have a job that needs doing, I have to write it down or else my baby brain will take over, and this time my memory has been completely wiped, so it will just get forgotten about. I write lists from everything to groceries, to present lists, to-do lists, you name it. I can find a list for anything. My husband is always laughing at me because he thinks I'm just list crazy, but there is just something so satisfying about ticking off the job on the list once it's been completed, and at least you know where you stand and what you need to get done throughout the day, and you're not going to miss anything off. The next thing I like to do to keep super organised is to plan ahead. I am a massive planner. I make plans to make plans, as my husband would say, and at the beginning of each year what I will do is get a new diary and I will fill out all of my main events for the year, birthdays, etc. At the beginning of each month I will check what's coming up throughout that month, and I can plan for it, whether that be to buy presents, to buy cards, if I need to buy an outfit, things like that. So I know what I've got coming up for the next few weeks, and then I also will do this again each week and each day, just so that I can keep on top of it and I know what things are going to be happening that week and I can prepare. Another thing to plan ahead that I like to do is to buy birthday cards in advance, birthday presents in advance, keep them stocked up and stored away, and then that way when the date does come you're never going to be caught off guard. I always have spare cards, spare presents available, especially now with Penelope getting older, she's getting more friends. It's great to just have those little kids presents stashed away so that you never forget a birthday gift. Planning ahead is also great if you need to have outfits ready, so you can make sure that they are washed and dried and ironed if you've got something coming up, or if you need to go out and buy something new, you can prepare for that as well. Planning ahead always just keeps me that one step ahead of the game, so I'm never caught off guard with something not ready, because that would be my worst nightmare. I really love to have a schedule, and I schedule in every single day, and I know this might sound a bit of a bore because I even schedule in the fun times, but this way I know that I'm always going to make time for the most important things. I'm going to get my jobs done and not miss anything off, and it also motivates me to get my bum off that sofa and get things done by a certain time. Otherwise I'll just end up sitting there and things don't get done. Whereas if I give myself a time frame, I know that I'm going to get it done because I don't like to miss that deadline, and it just motivates me to make sure that I do things throughout the day. One biggie in our house is meal planning, and we do this every week. We will sit down and plan a menu as to what we're going to have for the whole week, and then we'll write our shopping list out so we know exactly what items we need. Before I used to do this, we would end up with a bunch of ingredients that wouldn't even make a substantial meal, and we would end up stuck for choice every night of what to make, which would be a lengthy process trying to figure something out, which would usually result in us ordering a takeaway or having something like toast, which isn't the healthiest option, and it's also very costly if you're ordering takeaways all the time. So meal planning has also been good for our health because it is enabled us to eat healthier meals, and we also know every day what we're going to be having, so we're not going to be spending that time trying to choose something for our evening meal. Another thing I like to do when it comes to cooking is batch cook. So if I'm making something, for example like spaghetti bolognese, I will just double the ingredients, triple the ingredients. I will then put these in tubs and store them in my freezer or in my fridge for the next day, and then that way I have some meals for weeks ahead, so therefore you don't have to cook as often. I am currently off work at the moment on maternity leave, but one thing I do love when I am at work is my slow cooker. It is an absolute lifesaver. You can prepare meals in there the night before, and then in the morning just put it on a low heat and it'll take all day to cook. You'll come back to a lovely nice home cooked meal, and it's no effort at all really, because then you're coming in say at 5-6 o'clock and you can just have your dinner straight away with no effort needed. Another way to help with meal planning is to subscribe to a meal delivery delivery service such as HelloFresh or Gusto. We've tried both companies and absolutely love them. They're a really great idea. The only thing, sometimes they can be a bit costly to certain people. We got them when there was a discount code on and absolutely loved the meals because again, they gave you the specific ingredients all measured out. There was also a recipe card there, so you knew exactly how to cook and you knew exactly what you would be having at night time, so it would save you on the choice and sitting there umming and ahhing about what meal to cook that night. Another way I keep organised is by having a cleaning schedule. I'm a super clean freak. My husband goes mad because I'm constantly cleaning up, but a cleaning schedule enables me to stick to a plan that will make me keep my house as clean as can be with a family of 4 and 2 dogs. What I tend to do is set certain days for certain jobs, and I will break this up throughout the week and throughout the month as well for big jobs, and then that way at least I know everything's going to get done in a timely manner, and I know that nothing gets missed off, and I'm not spending all of my weekend taking hours and hours to clean up. One thing I will recommend if you can afford it is to get a cleaner. I unfortunately have to do my own cleaning, but I know a few people that have invested in the cleaner and they pay a weekly fee for someone to come in and clean their house for a couple of hours, and that would be an absolute godsend for me if I could afford that. So if you can afford that, I would definitely recommend doing it, especially if you have children and your time is taken up doing a lot of other things. That would be a great investment for your money. Other ways to keep on top of my cleaning is to set yourself power hours or 10-minute timers. This way I make sure that the cleaning is stayed on top of the whole week, and I will set myself a timer on my phone for 10 minutes and just whiz around and see how much I can get cleaned up in that time. I also do things like the laundry daily to keep on top of it and have set days to do my ironing and make sure everything gets put away straight away, and this way everything just stays in nice orderly shape around the house and I'm never left with things that need to get done. One biggie, especially since having 2 children, is to prepare your things the night before. I've sort of always done this. Even before children, I would get my work uniform ready the night before. Even when I was at school, I would get my school uniform ready the night before. If I'm packing to go away somewhere, I always pre-plan. I never like to be last minute. That is super stressful for me. I get major anxiety if I'm on last minute. Especially with 2 children, I like to get their clothes ready the night before, even down to pack it in their bags. So when Penelope goes to nursery, I always pack whatever she needs in her bag the night before. I even sometimes will put the bags in the car ready for the next day, so that I know that I'm not going to forget anything, especially if we have an early morning trip somewhere, or if you think you're going to be in a bit of a rush, because you never know with children. You may have to get up in the middle of the night, or one of them is 2 years old and might decide that she wants to have an attitude when you're trying to get her ready and won't put her shoes on, so you're then in a mega rush, and the last thing you need to be doing is packing bags and making sure to remember things like that. So this way, planning it out the night before, make sure that everything's ready for the day ahead. One thing I love to do is to shop online, and this is for anything from groceries down to shopping for clothes or toys. It is super easy. You just sat at home in the comfort of your own home on your computer or on your phone, and you even now have things like Apple Pay where you just touch with your thumb and you can check out. I always find that dragging the kids around the shops isn't the most enjoyable experience. I sometimes will forget what I've gone out looking for, the kids will be moaning, and at least this way I don't forget what I need. I can check that I've got everything before I do the checkout, and I don't have that stress of the children dragging them around the shops, and it's just super easy and it comes straight to your door. Or if you also want to do is click and collect, where then you just need to load the kids in the car and go and pick it up from the supermarket or from whichever shop. You can go directly there and you don't have to worry about dragging the kids all over. It's still an easy task to go and just pick it straight up from the customer services desk. Or some of the supermarkets, they even bring it out to your car and you don't have to even get the kids out. Another way I like to stay organised is by the 30-second rule, or the one-touch rule as some people will call them. I like to stick by that if a job takes less than 30 seconds to do it immediately, because then this way you're not going to end up with 10 or 20 jobs that are going to take you 5 to 10 minutes to do, whereas if you do it straight away it's over and done with and you're not having to faff around later on and clear loads of things away. So if I come in and take my shoes off, instead of just leaving them there, I will take them straight to where they need to be. The same with my coat, and then that way everything's put away neat and tidy. The same for other jobs around the house. house. If you just get your jobs done immediately that take a few seconds, then you're not going to be left with a bunch of jobs that are it's going to end up taking you a substantial amount of time to complete. This is a biggie for some families, especially in mine, is to try and get them to help out. My husband thinks that I am cleaning crazy and organisational mad, so it has taken a while for me to get him to be helping out around doing certain things and get him on my sort of wavelength to how I want things to be done. And I know that I'm a bit obsessive, so I've had to take it down a little notch, but getting the family to help out can really take that edge off for you. At the moment, Penelope's only 2. I'm trying to encourage her to tidy up behind herself, so then that way there's not going to be tons of mess that I have to clean up, or it's going to take us all ages to tidy up later on if she makes sure she tidies up as she goes along. So this is what I'm trying to teach her at the minute. You can get your kids involved in helping cleaning and making the beds and things like that, and kids love doing that kind of thing. You can make it into a game. We like to sing songs whilst we're doing jobs and just make it fun, and then that way Penelope likes to get involved and it just takes that little bit of extra stress off myself. And it's also nice to get the kids involved when you're doing jobs so that they're not just sat thinking that mummy's doing jobs all the time or daddy's doing jobs all the time, and they think it's a little bit of fun and they'll join in with you, and it's also teaching them good life lessons for as they get older. I find that having a routine is absolutely crucial in me getting anything done day to day, and having a set routine, the whole family know what's in store and what's going to happen, so no one's going to be caught off guard with what happens each and every day. We have the same thing every day when we get up, and then that way now as Penelope gets older, she knows what needs to get done in the morning and we can be more organised for the day ahead, and then this way we have more time to spend doing things we love to do rather than the things that we have to do, because the routine's been followed and the mundane jobs have already been done because everyone knows that's what needs to get done. I find that we don't have a routine, everything just goes to chaos. And I also find that Penelope will misbehave if we're out of routine a little bit, because kids like structure, and I find that structure for myself is really good because I do suffer from anxiety, and that structure is really helpful in controlling my anxiety because I know where I'm at in my day-to-day life. We will occasionally break routine. I'm not that regimented that it has to be done in a set certain way all the time. I just like to have a regular routine so that everybody knows where they're up to, what they're doing, and then this way there are no surprises along the way and we can spend more time together as a family because everyone's stuck to the routine, so the boring jobs have all been done and we can just get to having fun as a family. So those are my top tips on how to stay organised as a parent. Even if you're not a parent, you can still follow these tips if you're wanting to get more organised. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any tips for me on how I can be more organised, please leave them in the comments below. I would really love to hear that from you. Thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!